right, what of it? Doesn't matter now, it's all in the past.
I have no idea why she's accusing me of these things. I'm not Samuel Pasquin. That was an alias used by a man named Brian Lister.
You two passed that name back and forth like a bottle of whiskey. You dreamed it up together the night you saw me sitting at the bar in the Hotel St. Moritz. Quinton had been in Tunisia for several weeks, and I went there every night during that time because I was afraid he wasn't going to come back to me, and I didn't know how I was going to tell my father I was pregnant with his child.
You were pregnant?
That's right. I was almost 3 months pregnant while you were sitting at the other end of the bar watching me, buying me drinks and waiting. You were always waiting, weren't you?
Stop torturing everyone with this. It's not doing you any good.
Oh, that's what you both always wanted, to keep me quiet, isn't it?
I thought you would go to the police. As a matter of fact, I expected you would.
Oh, that would be too easy, Quinton. I want to see you suffer the way I've suffered all these years since. And as for you, Mark...
Please tell me what happened. I want to know.
Yes. Yes, I thought you would. Well, one night, the man at the end of the bar, this man, he got up and he walked over to where I was sitting and he introduced himself to me as Samuel Pasquin. He told me I was beautiful and desirable and that he wanted me desperately. Does any of this sound familiar to you, Amanda? Yes, I thought it might. Anyway, a week later, we were married.
To this man, to Mark Evans?
Yes. He seduced me, and then he persuaded me to marry him while you were away, Quinton. Oh, not because he loved me, but because he knew how rich I was. Mark was the one who came between us. That's what I tried to tell you 3 years ago on the cliff in Switzerland, but you wouldn't listen to me. You started shaking me, and then you fell yourself.
You fall with me.
No. I was running and crying and trying to get you help. Mark, you stand there. I said stand there. Suddenly, as I was running, I saw Sam standing there, waiting. Just as he'd waited in the bar at the Hotel St. Moritz. He had the strangest sort of half smile on his face. I told him that you were hurt, and that I'd been trying to explain to you about him that our marriage was a mistake, that he had to help me. And tell your Amanda what you told me, Sam, and then show her what you did.
It was an accident, that's all.
I remember it very clearly. It was no accident. Sam told me our marriage was no mistake. He'd planned it all very carefully. He said he'd be glad to help me. He started to put his arms around me. And suddenly I was very frightened. And before I knew what was happening, he'd maneuvered me to the edge of the cliff. And before I knew what happened, he pushed me out into the abyss.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it, did I?
No, Quinton. You didn't do it. They found me when they found you. My face was terribly damaged from where it had bashed against the rocks. I lost the ability to speak. Do you know about all that, don't you?
Yes.
The worst. The most horrible part was when they told me that I'd lost the child I was carrying. Your child, Quinton. I never told you this, but the doctors said it was a boy. Or would have been. You see? Sam Pasquin killed our son. Oh, you will, Quinton. You will. But not just yet.